नित्यानन्देश्वरसमारम्भां नित्यानन्देश्वरिमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. I welcome all the devotees, disciples, Samajis, Satsangis, Kotaris, Mahans, Tanidars, owners of Sarvanyapita, everyone sitting with us all over the world through Nithyananda TV, Sadhana TV, two-way video conferencing, RA TV, many more channels. I welcome all of you with my love and respects. The city is sitting with us in two-way video conferencing, having Naciketa, Singapore, Adinam, Hyderabad, Guptakashi, Indrani, New Jersey, Warrington, UK, Hong Kong, Sirgari, Trinidad, Tobago, Houston, Adinam, Los Angeles, Sherman Oaks. Mary, tell your son I accepted his offering, his artwork. Nithyananda Nagara Bididi, Tallahassee, Florida, Dubai Adinam, Hyderabad Adinam, Oklahoma Adinam, Toronto Adinam, Vancouver, Kuala Lumpur Adinam, St. Louis Adinam, Los Angeles Adinam, Oman Adinam, Seattle Adinam, Guadalupe Adinam, Phoenix Adinam, St. Louis Adinam, Alice Springs, Australia, Melbourne Adinam, Dubai Adinam, Doncaster, UK, Hong Kong, and some more cities are joining. I welcome all of you. Houston Adinam, I welcome all of you with my love and respects. Today I'll try to introduce Naciketa, the hero of Kathopanishad. It is so strange. King, educated, knows everything, has people, wealth, everything under his control, ends up being stupid, and a kid, his own kid, not even finished his schooling, less than 7-year-old kid, supposed to be nobody, neither having money nor having people, nothing under his control, ends up being a hero. Strange are the dramas of the cosmos. So underlying truth, what society or a country respects, may be totally different from what cosmos expects or what cosmos respects. Please listen. Naciketa, kid. Kid means real kid, not portrayed as kid, real kid. He becomes the source of enlightenment for billions to come in the future. Please understand, Kathopanishad is the Hindu book of dead and death. If you have read Tibetan book of dead, you will understand every idea represented in that book is from this book. This is the source book. Anywhere, any research, any understanding, any intuition, any sacred secret, any revelation about death, it is from this source. And many conclusions humanity is yet to arrive is already revealed in this book. It is the book. I don't even want to say Indian book of dead and death, the book of dead and death. This is the book of dead and death. Naciketa, what a character. Understand, first time the power of innocence is so beautifully described in the authenticity of Naciketa. Please listen. Innocence is not ignorance. Innocence means staying with the simple truth till the end. Ignorance means learning to manipulate them as per your vested interests. Understand? Vajashravas learnt all the truths, but unfortunately started thinking how to manipulate it for his vested interests. Innocence, staying with the truth, staying with the simple, straightforward truth forever. The ability to stay is authenticity. Please understand, truths are never complicated. But the ability to stay, establish yourself in the truth, that is the real thing need to be achieved. Naciketa, I can just repeat his name any number of millions of times for the strength he demonstrated. That is why I have dedicated one section of my Gurukul in honor of Naciketa. In our Gurukul still one section of students, one group of students are addressed as Naciketa section. He is the ideal of Indian kids, not any other stupid that tam-tam, jum-jum cartoons. Naciketa, what a character. In every street corner of this country, we should have had Naciketa statues. And I have decided we will start having in all Gurukuls. What a character. Whether it is true or imagination, even imagining a kind of a character of Naciketa's quality, and I tell you, it's not imagination, it's real, it's true. He lived and living. I am still awestruck by Naciketa because I have to introduce every dimension of him. I have to introduce his innocence. I have to introduce his fearlessness. Innocence, when it becomes ferocious, only then it can be fearless. Understand, innocence can be easily bullied, manipulated if it is just powerless. Any vested interest can just bully you or digest you as part of that system. Extraordinary quality before entering into the society. The ability to be ferocious about your innocence. Innocence an ability to stand with it. Even the only source of your life, your dad, your king, everybody in one person is denying you. Listen. Most abused children are those. Father himself becomes teacher, king, or multiple role. If father himself is playing multiple role, those kids really become the kids who are most abused, because they don't have somebody else with whom they can vent out. If they develop completion with him in the role of the father, they carry that incompletion. If they develop incompletion with him, when he does the job of the father, they carry the incompletion in the role of the teacher. There also they feel suffocated. Especially if your father is the king, that's the worst punishment for you. Because you will develop incompletion with every dimension he carries. And you will simply be crushed, because he is the only source of everything for you. Whether it is food, or knowledge, or moral support, or strength, or protection, and what not. Annadata, Jnanadata, what not. Here for Naciketa, I don't know. Actually, we don't even know his mother's name. It's not mentioned anywhere in the Upanishad. All great successful books talks less about the author, more about the theme of the book. This trend was set by the Vedic literature, Upanishads. The theme occupies the book so much, they did not spend even 2-3 words to introduce Nachiketa's mother. We don't know how many queens Vajashravas had, and which queen's son is Naciketa. No. So whatever we know, based on that, we can safely assume father is the only source. Whether it is a food, or feeling protected, or love, or education, because he has not yet gone to school. Till now, whatever he is learning only is from his father's lap. Means father is literally source of every fulfillment, physical nourishment, mental fulfillment, psychological fulfillment, and what not. Even in front of that only source of all fulfillment, listen, your source of all fulfillments is your source of life. Even in front of his source of life, he is able to stand up uncompromisingly for the truth. He understood for his innocence ferociously. Hindus missed one thing. They carried innocence, but forgot innocence needs to be clubbed with ferociousness. That is why the other elements were able to terrorize them. Vested interests were able to bully them. Even in front of the only source of life is Father. He is able to stand up and stare at his eyes and stick to his ground. What a power of innocence. Actually, he able to stare at the eyes of the death only makes him a second hero. He able to stare at the source of life makes him first hero. Understand? Ability to stare at the death is not something big because you are dead, gone once for all. But ability to live, holding on to what you understand as truth, there Naciketa stands as hero. I tell you, tons of people come and tell me, Swamiji, I am ready to die for you. I tell them, no, learn to live for me. I don't want people to die for me. I am not running a Manikarnika crematorium. Your death is not source of my life. If you live what I am teaching, that is source of my life. That is joy of my life. If I am running a Manikarnika crematorium, okay, every dead body 500 rupee, come on. I am not running Manikarnika crematorium to encourage you to die for me. Listen. Living for me. Here Naciketa is staring at the eyes of the source of his life. Understand? If you know only staring at the eyes, you are stupid rebel. For anything and everything saying no, no, tantrum throwing kid. Naciketa is not that. Naciketa is not that. Everyone is carrying the tantrum throwing kid inside and thinks that whenever that kid throws tantrum, you are hero. Puh. Stupidity. Stupidity. Covered by stupidity is thinking throwing tantrum is heroism. No. Here, Naciketa is not throwing tantrum. See the whole Upanishadic story. Know where he is hurt. Father, king, Annadata, who is the source of his food, life, protection, political head, who is his source. He is saying, I am giving unto you to death. I am giving you unto death. And he is not hurt. He is not depressed. The next line Upanishad puts such an extraordinary poetry. Shraddha Aviveśa. Authenticity fills Naciketa, possessed by authenticity. I'll just give the brief outline of the story. Naciketa's father, out of his greed, instead of doing the real charity to have the heaven and highest pleasures, let me correct myself. Heaven, which you read in the Western literature, is not the Swarga mentioned in the Eastern literature. Swarga is different. Heaven is different. Because no other word, I am using the word heaven. English has only that word, so I am using that word heaven. Swarga means completion within oneself. Swarga. Swarga means settled within oneself. Settled within the source of oneself. When his father, Naciketa's father, Vajashravas, is doing the mistake of not being responsible, doing the responsible charity, just trying to throw away all the unnecessary things in the name of charity. Cleaning the garage is what he is calling as charity. Cleaning the garage and throwing away all the unnecessary items is not charity. Please understand. Instead of throwing, giving it to somebody for whom it is useful is good, but don't call that as charity. It can be charitable act, but not charity itself. Literally, Vajashravas is doing garage cleaning. A large country must be having large, unused or unmaintainable items. So whatever he is not able to maintain, he is just disposing them off in the name of charity so that somebody else will maintain. When Naciketa saw this, he did not keep quiet. Most of us will keep quiet because our vested interests are more important than the inauthenticity going on in front of your eyes. And he goes and questions his own father. Not directly, because he is not tantrum throwing child. He is not hurting the father. And he can't be hurt. Understand? Be very clear. When you don't hurt the world cannot hurt you. It's a law of life. When people trying to hurt me, all my disciples are perturbed, shocked. I said, don't worry. I have never hurt the world, and world cannot hurt me. World has no power to hurt me because I have never hurt the world. I tell you, only when you hurt, you give the right to them to hurt you. Only when you criticize, you give them right to criticize you back. The greatest protection, Kala Bhairava Raksha, I am giving you. Never hurt others. That's the greatest protection. Because as law of life, when you don't hurt, you can't be hurt. No power can hurt you. I tell you, it's a commitment from Kala Bhairava. This kid, less than 7-year-old kid, without any vested interest, standing up and staring into the eyes of his father, who is only source for his life, and without hurting him. He is not hurting him. He is not straight away fighting with the father. Right? What are you doing? You are doing wrong. No. He is very gently trying to remind him. Please understand, Agnya Chakra, the third eye, is the place of your ego. Any strong way of telling, your ego will only flare up. It will never listen. It will only say, the beauty of innocence. Naciketa. Actually, you can't perfect his action and reaction described in Upanishad. Such beautiful action and reaction. I really want to make a serial out of this Upanishad, because the child need to be shown for you to catch what Naciketa has gone through and how he responded. You need to see visually. Only then you will understand the power of ferocious innocence. Innocence, extraordinary. He goes and asks his father, Dad, to whom are you going to give me? Because he is trying to remind the original Vakya, the verse, truth, instruction of the Vedas to his father. The original verse in the Vedas, the original instruction of the Yajna defines all the best things you have, all the best things you love in your life, you have to give it away. And please understand, Really, Vajashravas loved Naciketa. Understand, anybody who wants heaven will have deep love for his next generation, because only through this way he is trying to continue to live after death. Understand, Vajashravas may be a good or bad person in any field. In some fields he may be good, in some fields he may be bad, but I can never doubt or suspect his love for Naciketa, because anybody who has insecurity about life will have a deep love for the kid and next generation. It's a law of life. Heaven itself is just your effort for extension. And the kid, son or the daughter, is physical extension of you. That is why whatever you could not fulfill, whatever you did not, you could not, you try to fulfill it through your son and the daughter and grandkids. Naciketa is gently reminding the father, you are supposed to give away all the things you love and best things you think you have. Understand, the description is so beautiful. Whatever society thinks is best which you are having, whatever you think the best you are having, both should be given away. He is trying to remind the original verse to his father without throwing tantrum or having that feeling that I am holier than you. Shraddha Aviveśa. Taittiriya Upanishad, Sikshavalli puts it beautifully. Whenever you give with authenticity. Give with tremendous good words, love. Give before even your second thought intervenes and makes you feel poor and insecure. Understand? This is the science of giving. The moment your heart feels the joy and expansion, wants to give, releases a thought current to give, your swadhisthana, insecurity jumps up and what will happen to me? Before that jumps up and tells you, oh, we are insecure, what will happen? Our security. Before swadhisthana jumps in front of anahata, stretch your hand and give it. Finish it off. Shraddha Aviveśa. Understand? Inauthenticity is so powerless. Even a gentle reminder makes it itself feel powerless. Vajashravas is shivering in front of his own son. Must have become very old, calculative, tired, powerless, insecure, because of all this cunning. See the stupidity of the inauthenticity. It never catches the mathematics of life. The mathematics of the macrocosm is never understood by inauthenticity. Vajashravas, who loves the extension in heaven and in earth. Extension in heaven, extension in earth is your son and the daughter and the progeny. Who loves so much, for which He is doing all the havan, charity, everything. He goes crazy and literally commits suicide by uttering the word, I give you unto death. This is what he utters to Naciketa. The beauty is, you can't kill innocence, truth. You can try to put the truth into death, but it will survive and come back as immortal. The whole story highest possible description. I don't think any story writer could have imagined a character more than Naciketa. People tell me, thinking that they are abusing Vyasa, they tell me, it's all Vyasa's imagination, this whole Mahabharata, everything, Vyasa's imagination. I tell them, fool. If you say it is his imagination, don't think you are abusing Vyasa. You are giving the best possible credit. Please understand, if it has really happened in recorded, he is only a person recording the history. If it is his imagination, I'll just bow down to him. He is God. Nobody else other than God can imagine the characters of Mahabharata and put it so beautifully. He must have been the story writer of the cosmos, not just one script writer for a movie or a show. Vyasa. Of course, the story really happened. Vyasa is Bhagavan himself for the kind of integrity and authenticity he maintains. Even the character of Naciketa, you can't better it. You can't better it. He is not throwing tantrum. The child which throws tantrum will not bother to hurt others. It is filled with he, and his vested interests. Naciketa is not tantrum throwing child. Is authenticity personified, authentically authentic. Authority of the authenticity. What a power! What a power! He is able to stare into his father's eyes, who is source of his life. Everything he knows as he and his future is at stake by staring into the eyes of the father. But he decides, because he is not interested in hurting his father, he is interested in raising him to the level of authenticity. He is only interested in supporting him. Authenticity never hurts others. It makes you authoritative, but non-violent. A non-violent authority. Authenticity makes you authority, but non-violent. Non-violent authority. Very paradoxical, because authority is always connected with power over others. But when you have power over you, the power over others never hurts others. What a kid. I'll continue to introduce Naciketa. I don't know how many more days. I'm going to introduce him. Introduce every dimension, every word he uttered, every action he did, every smile he showed, every moment of the courage he demonstrated. I'll spend a little time and direct a serial on Upanishads. Because what he demonstrated should be shown visually, not just the words. The garland of words are not enough. Respect for Naciketa. It should be demonstrated. That is the greatest honor we will be doing to him. By honoring him, we will make him the ideal for the next generation kids, the new generation kids. Naciketa, the only hope for new gen. Today's subject for Vakyartha Sadas for my Gurukul kids. Naciketa, is he throwing tantrum or is he behaving authentically? What is throwing tantrum? What is behaving authentically? My kids will do Vakyartha Sadas today on this subject. And all over the world, the subject for Vakyartha Sadas is same. Sangha, contemplate, meditate on Naciketa. Shraddha Aviveśa, possessed by authenticity. Possessed by authenticity. I want to describe slide by slide the whole scene of this Upanishad. Slide by slide I have to describe. Even then my tongue will not feel that it has done its responsibility. Naciketa, what a character, what a story, what an amazing context set for the greatest discourse ever delivered on life and death. Setting the context, God. I'm proud that I had such forefathers. Whose achievements are still not only broken, can never be broken. Go back to Upanishads, drink deep the juice of the knowledge and let that be pride for you. That will build your future. Build the future from this great source of knowledge and bliss. For Naciketa, his father is his teacher, because the Upanishad says very clearly, among the Naciketa contemplates, among his students I stand first, means he was studying also under Vajashravas. So his father is king and teacher, God. But he is able to stand up. The authority of the authenticity. I'll continue to expand. On Naciketa. I myself is in joy when I remember Naciketa. To tell you honestly, literally overflowing with love, when I remember the courage and authority demonstrated. Wow, what a character. What a character. My ideal. I was fortunate enough to have an amazing person as my grandfather. I still remember holding me in the shoulders. Every pillar in Thiruvannamalai temple, he will take me and explain the story. Some of the great stories I heard from him, his own mouth, is Margandeya, a great saint Kannappa, and Naciketa, Prahalata. I am going to honor all those stone pillars by replicating them in Bididi temple. With one more statue of my grandfather carrying me on his shoulder and showing all this and explaining. Thanks to the time he spent on me, explaining all these beautiful, beautiful ideals. Even before I entered the human society, what an amazing preparation he has done. I'll continue to expand. On the great character Naciketa, and I'll introduce him in few more satsangs. The power, the authority Naciketa radiated. With this, I'll move to the next segment of the morning satsang. I bless you all. Let you all radiate with integrity, authenticity, responsibility, enriching, causing. Living Advaita, the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you. Be blissful.
Nithyananda Dhyanapītam, Nithyananda Nagar, off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bengaluru. Phone 08027279999. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/lifeblissfoundation.